They actually voted on the Speaker of the House yesterday. And it is Mike Johnson, somebody most people really aren't all that familiar with, including us. I wasn't really familiar with him.
I'd seen his name. I could never have picked him out of a lineup before.
No, I couldn't have either, in all honesty. Now, he has a 74%. Is it Freedom Score or is it the...
This is Freedom Score.
It's a Freedom Score.
Yeah.
Okay, so Freedom Works gives him 74% for this session, but I think 80% lifetime.
Overall, yes. But the 75, sorry to correct you, is going up.
Yeah.
So it's not going down. So.
Okay, good. Good. So, I mean, 80% lifetime, that's a lot better than Mike McCarthy's was, and a lot better than most of the other guys that were being considered for this, except for Jim Jordan and Byron Donalds, who apparently, for some reason, didn't have a chance.
Racism.
Yeah, right. Right. In the case of Byron Donalds, obvious racism.
Obvious?
So, we have a new Speaker of the House.
Yeah.
That might be good, or it might be bad, because now they'll get back to work and they'll start doing crappy things that we don't want them to do.
Yeah, I thought, it'd be fun to kind of go and find some clips of him, in retrospect and see.
Yeah, and get to know him, really.
What's he been up to lately?
Here he is discussing the Biden crime family.
Article 1, Section 2 of the Constitution itself expressly states that the sole power of impeachment belongs here to this House. And then Article 2, Section 4 says, listen to the language carefully, it's expressly written in the Constitution. This is not political talking points. We're not making this up. It says in Article 2, Section 4 that the president shall be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or other high crimes and misdemeanors. My friends, I just listed just a small sampling, just the tip of the iceberg of the credible allegations and the mounting evidence that shows that Joseph Biden has engaged in bribery schemes, pay-to-play schemes. This is what the evidence shows. We have to follow it. We took an oath to uphold the Constitution. The Constitution requires this action. The inquiry is the appropriate step. We have no choice to pursue the facts wherever they lead, and we will leave no stone unturned.
Okay.
All right, that's promising, right?
Pretty good, yeah.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Here he is grilling the FBI director.
Ooh.
The FBI made the social media platforms pull that information off the internet if it came from conservative sources. They did this under the guise that it was disinformation. Can you define what disinformation is?
What I can tell you is that our focus is not on disinformation, broadly speaking.
Well, wait a minute. Yes, it is. Wait a minute.
Can I answer the question?
You can in a minute. Your star witness said in the litigation, Elvis Chan, who's in charge of this, said they do it on the basis of disinformation. We need a definition of what that is.
Our focus is on malign foreign disinformation, that is, foreign hostile actors who engage in covert efforts to abuse our social media platforms, which is something that is not seriously in dispute.
I have to stop you for time. That's not accurate. You need to read this court opinion because you're in charge of enforcing it. The court has found that, and Elvis Chan testified under oath in charge of this for you. He said 50%. He had a 50% success rate in having alleged election disinformation taken down or censored. That wasn't just foreign adversaries, sir. That was American citizens. How do you answer for that?
Well, first off, I'm not sure that's a correct characterization.
Comes right out of the opinion. You should read it.
Of his testimony. But what I would say is the FBI is not in the business of moderating content or causing any social media company to suppress or censor.
That is not what the court has found.
Yeah. All evidence to the contrary, as always. Amazing. These people are amazing. So in the days after the death of George Floyd, he had this to say.
Okay.
And I've thought often through all these ordeals over the last couple of weeks about the difference in the experiences between my two 14-year-old sons, Michael being a Black American and Jack being white Caucasian. They have different challenges. My son Jack has an easier path. He just does. The interesting thing about both of these kids, Michael and Jack, is they're both handsome, articulate, really talented kids, gifted by God to do lots of things. But the reality is, and no one can tell me otherwise, my son Michael had a harder time than my son Jack is going to have simply because of the color of his skin. And that's a reality. It's an uncomfortable, painful one to acknowledge. But people have to recognize that's a fact.
What should we do about that?
I think that we really do need systematic change. I think we need transformative solutions. I think we're at a moment where we can begin to do more to form that more perfect union, as it says in the first line of the Constitution.
That's a red flag.
Those are fun talking points that he took right out of a DEI handbook.
Yeah. That's a red flag right there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, we need
transformative,
systematic change.
Yeah. So, just something to keep an eye on, right?
You say you want to change the Constitution. Well, we all want to change your head. You tell me it's the institution, you better free your mind instead.
You want to be transformative?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, Mike Johnson does.
I don't know.
Hey, here's a good quote from him yesterday. Are you ready for this? Quote, this is a new Speaker of the House, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We're not continuing resolutions anymore. We're doing instead a messy process of doing 12 separate small spending bills that are single subject. Takes more time. It's a messier process, but in the end, I think it'll be good for the American people because we're trying to curtail spending and the growth of government.
Okay.
But don't forget, he wants transformative.
Yeah, right.
Systematic.
Yeah, and how about a budget? What about that? Yeah. Instead of 12 spending bills during the course of a year, how about one budget? How about you do that?
I will say that this man, new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson of Louisiana, is going to be tested very early in the wake of this Lewiston shooting. Because you know that starting, probably already, but starting business hours today in Washington, D.C., they're going to, like you said at the start of the show, they're coming for the guns. This is going to be a renewed effort, especially they're going to point, look, this guy was certified. He's the kind of guy that, anyway, they will use that. Boy, that was a Biden moment. Anyway, so it's going to be interesting to see if he's going to cave on something like this, because this is going to be his first test, major pressure right out of the gate. Hope he's strong.
Here he is yesterday, right after taking the Speaker's gavel.
I want to tell all my colleagues here what I told the Republicans in that room last night. I don't believe there are any coincidences in a matter like this. I believe that Scripture, the Bible, is very clear that God is the one that raises up those in authority. He raised up each of you, all of us. And I believe that God has ordained and allowed each one of us to be brought here for this specific moment in this time. This is my belief. I believe that each one of us has a huge responsibility today to use the gifts that God has given us to serve the extraordinary people of this great country, and they deserve it.
Okay. Yeah, I like the God speak. I'm not sure everybody in that room was put there by God, frankly.
Wait, Adam Schiff?
Not put there by God.
Adam Schiff has been complaining on Twitter about Mike Johnson, which is a good sign. That's positive.
That is a good sign.
He's
the New York Times was complaining about him. So that's a really good sign.
He's an election denier, as Adam Schiff calls, because he wouldn't certify the election for Joe Biden.
Shut up. It took 2 minutes and 26 seconds after he was approved by the House to get an email from Representative Bill Pascrell that said, today, Republicans found their Goldilocks candidate, a person just extreme enough to satisfy their far-right base, but not yet a household name to engender organized opposition.
Interesting.
7 minutes later, Jerry Connell added, Mike Johnson isn't a household name. People are Googling him just to find out who he is. But let me warn you right now, he's as dangerous as anyone in the Speaker's chair.
All right.
He's dangerous? Never mind the Hamas supporting socialists sitting there right next to you, Jerry Connell, on your side of the aisle. Never mind the communists and the anarchists and the brain-dead buffoons in the Democrat Party. Never mind any of that. Worry about this guy because he's conservative. They love this far-right thing, man. They think that's a winning proposition to call people far-right. Far-right extremist. He's a far-right MAGA Republican extremist.
I'm shocked we didn't hear screeches of horror from the House floor while he was giving a speech, and he mentioned the word Bible.
Yeah, right.
Scripture. Oh, right. God. Oh.
Yesterday, they've already labeled him Mega Mike Johnson. MAGA Mike.
MAGA Mike.
MAGA Mike, yeah. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see. Oh, I like this too. Let's see. Simon Rosenberg, who is a Democratic advisor, declared Mike Johnson is a dark moment for American democracy. Well, that's okay because we don't have a democracy. So I guess that negates the dark moment, doesn't it?
You know, I my early assessment on this guy was, there's a lot more to like than dislike by far.
Yeah, I think so.
But then you read these quotes, and now I'm thinking, all right, this could be historically good.
Yeah, I know.
But honestly, they've got those talking points ready for anybody. They got the nicknames ready for whoever. That's probably who's been more frustrated than us on the right, is than the left, who's like, oh, we had a great nickname for Jim Jordan. We can't use it now. You know, we had a great nickname to make fun of, I don't know, Steve Scalise. Oh, we can't use that now. Wait, who? Mike Johnson. What are we going to do? We need some alliteration here.
Starts with M. How about MAGA Mike?
Yeah, MAGA Mike. Let's do that one. I swear.